now would like to invite Mr. Reischaga Mohajit, Pak Charles Lim, and Pak Yohanes Syailendra Kotualubun to present their work entitled Uncovering Malware Traits Using Hybrid Analysis. So are we going to present the work directly, or are we going to watch a recorded video?
I will be presenting the work directly.
Okay.
Yeah. That's no problem.
How are you doing? I remember you.
Yes, sir. I remember you too. How are you doing? I'm very good, sir.
Okay.
Lagi banyak tantangan sih, Pak, tapi baik-baik aja kok, Pak.
That's good. Okay, so can start share work.
Okay, thank you, sir. Okay, pardon, can you see my screen?
Yes.
Hello? Okay. Okay, good morning. Good morning, everyone. Today, I will be presenting regarding my paper, regarding our paper, which is Uncovering Malware Traits Using Hybrid Analysis. First, let me introduce myself. I am Reischaga. I had just recently finished my bachelor study at Swiss German University. And today, I will be presenting how we could utilize, in combination, static and dynamic analysis in order to uncover and study and evaluate malware traits. So the agenda for today's presentation includes an introduction on why this research was necessary, the methodology on how we conducted this research, a result, as well as a discussion, a simple discussion on the results of this research and the conclusion of this research. So it has been reported that of over 17,000 malware reports received per week, only 4.16% of those alerts are actually extrapolated upon. And in addition, only 19% of said alerts are deemed to be reliable. So hence, we require a framework in which we could evaluate and grade malware threats efficiently. So in order to understand the necessity as well as the background of this research, first we need to understand the shortcomings of both static analysis and dynamic analysis. Static analysis, when it comes to analyzing packed files, most of their static analysis features are hidden. In addition, because we only analyze static features of files and samples, we only receive an incomplete representation of said files and samples. And also, based on the results of our research, due to the nature of many modern malware which are in the wilds today, the results of static analysis, or the static analysis based results often have very high similarity with that of benign-ware. Dynamic analysis is also not without its own shortcomings. When we conduct dynamic analysis, we are limited to the result that we received on a single path execution, and dynamic analysis is very much weak to the sandbox evasion techniques and methods utilized by some modern malware. The methodology of this research is composed of collecting the data sets necessary to conduct this research, conducting static analysis, as well as dynamic analysis using an open source sandbox on set samples of the previously aforementioned data sets.
Okay, are we losing Reishaga? Yeah, it seems that yeah. Okay, maybe while waiting, okay, I think Ray is back. No? Okay, you're back.
Okay, so sorry, well, which slide I was in before doing
I
this?
think it was previous, before this. Can
Oh,
you
okay.
go back?
Okay, so
Yeah, this one. Okay, thanks, Ray.
okay,
Yeah.
so first we collect the necessary data sets, and then we conduct the necessary static analysis, as well as dynamic analysis using an open source sandbox on set data sets. Then we using the formula from the previous research of the previous presentation, we evaluate the static analysis as well as dynamic analysis results. And finally, we validate the evaluation results of this research using VirusTotal web service. So our data sets from the malware side consisted of 876 samples from the most prevalent malware families of the years 2018 through 2020, while our benign-ware dataset consists of 49 samples, all of which were obtained from trusted publishers. The static analysis features that we utilize in this research are mostly of generic PE header features, as well as optional COF header features, while our dynamic analysis features utilize the number of malicious user level API extracted from our sandbox in comparison to the total number of extracted user level API calls, and finally the number of processes utilized by the samples in our sandbox whilst running on our sandbox. So how do we evaluate our our extracted analysis features? Well, first we conduct a static-based threat scoring based on the static analysis feature, based on the static analysis results, and then we conduct a dynamic analysis-based threat scoring based on the extracted dynamic analysis results, and finally we combine the two using the hybrid analysis-based threat scoring. All of these three modules, all of the results of these three modules are categorized based on three categorizations, which are benign, suspicious, malicious. So all of the samples will have these will have one of these three categories. In regards to the formula used in these three modules, the formula that we utilize in this research are also from the previous presentation, from the previous research. So now we discuss the results of our research. The following is the result of the static analysis-based threat score. So as we can see here, we obtain a lot of samples which are categorized as merely suspicious from our malware dataset. And as we can see on the left-hand side here, that is due to the fact that most malware, when conducted statically, have their static analysis features hidden. Hence, we can only see that that most of them are only categorized merely as suspicious, as opposed to analyzing them dynamically. We can see that dynamic analysis extracts the actual malicious behaviors of malware samples. However, as we can see here in the case of the wadrarma.c sample, this particular sample is an example of a malware that conducts dynamic analysis or sandbox evasion method. Hence, the very low score given to the very low threat score given to the wadrarma.c sample. So this research combined both static analysis and dynamic analysis so that they can mitigate their weaknesses accordingly, as demonstrated by the threat score result of the Kerber RFN and the Zigos.CQ sample, both of which reserve very high threat scores because of the utilized dynamic hybrid analysis-based threat score. So the conclusion of this research, well, our research have shown that by conducting hybrid analysis, we can mitigate the weaknesses of both static analysis and dynamic analysis by combining both methods. The future work of this research entails the implementation of kernel level analysis so that we can obtain a more accurate threat score based on the dynamic analysis based results, and also, of course, the hybrid analysis based result. And our research have shown that that many malware lacks proper versioning. Hence, our recommendation that corporations and institutions should consider utilizing software solely from trusted publishers. That is all from me. Thank you very much. If there are any questions or any other needs of me as a presenter.
Okay. Thank you, Ray, for presenting your work. Everyone can see that actually there's a strong relation between the presented work and the previous one by Ali. So it's about the combination of using the static and the dynamic analysis to detect malware actually, and as it concluded by Ray, that the hybrid analysis it's definitely can mitigate all the weaknesses that is in the static analysis and also the dynamic analysis. So by combining both, we can actually mitigate and reduce all the weaknesses. Okay, do we have any questions for the presenter? Feel free to type in your, okay, there's a question from Wayne. Are there any downsides of hybrid analysis?
Downside to hybrid analysis. Yep. Well, I believe that if there are any downsides of hybrid analysis based on this particular research, it is because we need to make further and deeper explorations on both static analysis and dynamic analysis. Hence, we can provide and we can obtain a more accurate threat scoring results. However, we can see that by only utilizing a very limited portion of, or maybe by utilizing very static analysis and dynamic analysis in a limited scope, we can see that by combining the two, we have already received a more practical and a more optimal result. Yeah. So how can we mitigate the weakness of hybrid analysis? Well, by exploring deeper into static and dynamic analysis so that we can combine the two and utilize them better.
Yeah, I think it's actually correct when you have something hybrid, which is a combination of some different methods. And then one of the basic question is how are you going to put weight or trust on this method? I mean, are you going to weight 50-50, or are you going to trust the static for, better than the dynamic one? And I think that's the main issue that has to be explored further. Okay, there's another question from Pak James Ray. Could you please show again slide page 11? It's shown that the dynamic method itself is better rather than you combine static and dynamic. Okay. Page 11.
Okay. 11. Okay.
Yeah.
I think what Mr. James was trying to imply is that we can detect more malware by using dynamic analysis as opposed to hybrid analysis. However, we should also see that by using solely dynamic analysis, we can see that there are still malicious samples which are considered as malicious in the benign-ware as well. So this is very dangerous because then our incident response team would pour time and effort into samples which are actually benign. In addition, I think I should also point out the fact that a number of samples are still utilize heavily dynamic or sandbox evasion methods and techniques, of which we are trying to mitigate by using hybrid analysis. So I think why there is still a number of high malicious samples in the benign-ware, or why there are still high number of suspicious samples in the malware based on hybrid analysis or dynamic analysis, is that the fact that we need to also consider incorporating kernel level analysis instead of only solely user level dynamic analysis, which refer back to my answer of the previous question.
Yeah. Okay, thanks. I think I should answer. There's another questions from Patricia. For dynamic analysis, is there any other sample other than ratio of malicious API to all APIs and number of processes?
Hold on. I think features. Sorry.
Yeah. I think it's features, not samples.
So, okay. I think I shared the wrong screen. Okay. So no. As of right now, we by using an open source sandbox, which is Kuko, we extract the user level APIs of our samples. Hence, with the number of hence the formula used by Mr. Ali in his research are the number of malicious user level APIs in comparison to the total number of user level API calls. In addition, we have also found that some malware, actually many malware, especially ransomwares, utilize a lot of processes. Hence, number of processes should be good. Is also a feature in this research.
Okay, I think they should answer because all the features are extracted directly from the data set that is provided by what's the number? Yeah. Okay. Okay, we are starting to running out of time, so would like to invite maybe one more questions before we close this first part of the session. Going once, going twice. Okay, so I think there's no more questions for Mr. Reischaga. Thanks for presenting your work. I think it's very interesting. Good to see you, and congratulations on your graduation. And looking forward actually for further work of yours, Ray.
Thank you.